First of all, let me say good afternoon to members of the media. I know that everybody is looking for an update on the bus situation. Certainly, I can tell you that I did speak with the Minister of the Honorable Walter Rabban over the weekend, actually on Father's Day. But I want to just back up for a moment because last week, Tuesday, the 12th of June, the Bus Operating Allied Works Division of the BLU had a meeting. At that particular meeting, the workers became a bit frustrated that the issues that they have put in front of management, and it could have been between 6 to 8 issues, and over a period of 2 to 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, it seemed like nothing had happened, nothing had transpired. So the workers at that particular time had a couple other issues that they also want to put on the table. And in light of no answer forthcoming on the other issues that have been outstanding for a while, and I say a while meaning somewhere in the time frame of 3 to 5 years, and certainly the workers took a decision that they would implement a work to rule. Now let's just be clear, because a work to rule is not strike. The minister, I think Minister Walter Brown got involved, I think on Friday evening, because his technical staff advised him that he believed that the Bus Operating Allied Workers Division of the BLU was breaking the law. And as a result of that, you would have seen in Saturday's paper that he gazetted the matter to go to arbitration. Let's just be clear, and this would have happened under a UPP government, it would have happened under PLP government, it would have happened under ABA government, and now it's happening under PLP government. That first of all, the work to rule is exactly what it says, the work to rule. Now, if the employer can prove that employees are not working to rule, which means that they're doing the 37.5 hours, and they also got sick outs, and they got a number of other things going, then they can come back to us and say, Mr. President, Mr. Scott, we believe your members are not in keeping with the work to rule, because this is not affecting our service because people are calling out sick. I don't believe any of that stuff is going on since Brother George gave the notice to management. I think the work to rule went in place as of Friday at 10 o'clock. So it's kind of interesting that the minister has seen fit to refer this matter to arbitration and say that any strike or irregular industrial action short of a strike is going to be unlawful. I can tell you that I spoke with the minister myself on Saturday afternoon at about 4 o'clock. This is Minister Walter Brown, and I said to him, I'm not sure who gave you the advice that you got, but this is not correct. And I tell him the reason why we're incorrect. Because first of all, the workers have implemented a work to rule. Not an overtime ban, but I'm going to say not an overtime ban, but certainly they're only going to do the regular hours of work, and they're not going to do any overtime. I don't see how that's breaking any law in this country. And if people are going to say, whether it's employers or the public's going to say the workers don't have a right to go on a work to rule and suspend overtime, then that means we're going back to slavery. And I think it'll be a sad day that the PLP government would even allude to that the workers don't have a right to have a right to implement a work to rule. So natural enough, there were no buses yesterday. Yesterday was a public holiday. Yesterday, workers would have been paid overtime. So based on that, the workers decided, based on what would normally happen on a public holiday, and there's a lot of people that's of the view that somebody had a regular schedule for yesterday. This is not like the hotels and like a few other areas. So whilst the buses do run 5 out of 7 days, I have a roster, and let's just say I work roster 1. I can tell you roster 1 would not be my regular roster for yesterday, being a public holiday. That work would normally be offered to, I guess, and let's just say there's a pool of 100 operators. The first 20 operators will be offered that overtime for that public holiday. And if those 20 decide to accept it, the next time a public holiday comes, the next 20 is offered that work. So it goes on a rotational basis. So to say that yesterday's work belonged to somebody in particular, somebody's got it all wrong. And I've got Brother Calder with me, I've got Brother Patrick here with me, and I've got Brother Sean here with me, Hall, and Brother Patrick and Brother Cal can more tell you the operators, and they can tell you exactly what happened in a situation like yesterday. So the mere fact that we had no service yesterday, it's never the operator's intention to suspend service. But if it looks like we're not getting management's attention on issues, and it's going to take this kind of stuff to get everybody's attention, well, if that's what it's going to take, we apologize, but it's unfortunate, extremely unfortunate, that it's come to this. We do have a meeting scheduled with management at 3:30 this afternoon to sit down and have a conversation about next steps to find out exactly where we're going to end up. I think the workers have made it clear. All they want is some kind of time frame as to when these issues are going to be addressed. Time frames that's going to be met by the employer, and if they need an extension, they can come back to the worker and say, you know what, we have a deadline, we're going to miss about a week, is that okay? To say you're going to miss about a week or two, I don't think the work's going to be that incentive to say, no, if you're going to miss about 6 months, then we're probably going to have a problem.
Okay, when you say with management, which you're meeting 3:30 with management?
We're meeting with DPT management at 3 o'clock.
3:30?
3:30.
3:30.
3:30.
That's exactly what I want to clarify. So government is on the outside of management in this whole situation because the public is very much confused to the whole, and could yesterday been avoided in any way, meaning not having suspension of service?
Well, when you say it could have been avoided, I would say that, I believe the notice went to DPT, if I'm probably wrong, Brother George can correct me, I believe it went to DPT at 9:17 or 9:18 on Wednesday evening, right? The division made the decision on Tuesday night, and we got it clear. Brother George was in arbitration all day Wednesday, and he sent it on Wednesday night. So the DPT management had the notice in their hands on Wednesday evening at about 9:15, that as of 10 o'clock Friday morning, a rector rule was going to be implemented. So they had that. So they had all of Thursday, they had the better part of Friday for us to sit down and have a conversation. So exactly why and I think they've had, they might have a conversation or two with management. Where's workforce development notice? The minister asked for us to give him 24 hours notice when we're going to have these kind of situations. Brother George issued that email on Wednesday evening to say that this is going to take effect as of 10 o'clock Friday morning. So you had all of Thursday and Friday, so you had at least a day and a half notice as to what was going to be taking place.
Are you happy with the direction of Minister Brown, where he's now sent the whole matter to arbitration?
What is he sent to arbitration? That's just it. So is he saying that the outstanding issues that we have, I think it's some 10 or 12 issues right now that we have at DPT, is sending their matters to arbitration? I don't know. Because you see, you can't arrest a dispute unless you know what the dispute is.
It's not like a conflict within a conflict.
Well, I wouldn't say it's a conflict within a conflict. I just think the minister got bad advice. That's my personal opinion. Got bad advice. Can't hide behind them. The BIU has said this from day one. You can't hide behind the law unit. The law is going to expose you. Just like they think it's going to expose the workers, it's always going to expose management unit.
Let's go for the goose and the gander.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sure.
Afternoon, Mr. Ferber.
Sure.
Just wanted to go over a couple things, if I could, to make sure I'm correct.
Sure.
So, employees, bus drivers would have known then on Wednesday night that they weren't going to be driving on Monday. Is that correct?
They would have taken the decision on Tuesday evening to work. A rector rule means that no overtime will be worked. That's correct.
So they would have known on Tuesday evening then that they weren't going to be driving on Monday.
Well, a rector rule, which meant Monday was going to be a public holiday. Absolutely.
But DPT was informed on Wednesday morning.
DPT was informed. The workers asked Brother George and Brother Kelly as president to give the management team 24 hours notice that we're going to implement a rector rule, which was what they complied with, the 24 hours notice.
So the release that came out from DPT on Saturday that said, look, buses are going to run on Monday, it's just going to be on a holiday schedule. What do you attribute that to?
You have to ask management about that. I didn't put that release up.
No, fair enough. But they just had it clear wrong.
Well, you see, and maybe this is technical staff thinking that they know exactly what this book says.
Mm-hmm.
And I say it with the greatest amount of respect. You can't just take it for granted. You see, they're looking at it as being a regular work day for somebody. Meaning that, if I could summarize it like this, okay, I've already worked 4 days. Mm. I'm now going to work on Monday to get my 5th day in to make my 37.5 hours. Unfortunately, that's not the way how this schedule works. The bus operating all the workers work 5 out of 7. But appreciate and understand there are 10 paid public holidays in this country. 10 paid public holidays. And the way how the public holidays work at DPT, they work on a rotational basis.
And because you were saying earlier, correct me if I'm wrong, that because Monday was holiday and drivers would have been making more per hour as such.
They make double time.
Right, and as such, that means it's overtime and not regular hours.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's correct.
You've mentioned ongoing issues. Could you tell me what some of these specifically are?
I can tell you that a lot of these ongoing issues
Some of
stem
which
from
you say.
unfair practices with the collective bargaining agreement, the conditions of the buses and the bus areas, staff issues not resolved in a timely manner. Let's just highlight a few areas, and then we also got, you know, the depots that they're not quite satisfied with, the St. George's depot and the Dockyard depot, and all these issues have been put front and center to management.
Has there been any conversation between you and Minister Brown? You referenced the matter that was gazetted where he described any, quote, irregular industrial action basically as potentially having consequences. Has there been any discussion with you and the Minister about the lack of bus service yesterday and any repercussions there might be?
I haven't spoken to the Minister since I spoke to him on Saturday early evening. So as it relates to any repercussions about yesterday, my advice to the current government, my advice to the current Minister, there should be no repercussions as to what happened yesterday. Yesterday was overtime. And if one of my members are going to be penalized because they decided to exercise their constitutional right in relationship to working overtime or not working overtime, I wouldn't advise any employer to discipline a worker because they decided not to work any overtime. Remember now, we had the Privy Council ruling from the docks way back in 2001 that ruled on overtime. So we already have that.
Minister Walter Rabban, which is the minister under this portfolio.
Yes.
He's been aware of these issues. Matter of fact, this government adopted these issues. Do you see any, how could I put it?
Well, let me answer that question like this, Trav. I think that I spoke to the minister on Father's Day. I spoke to him on 3 occasions, right? In a period of about an hour and a half to 2 hours. The minister has given a commitment that he wants to sit down and address these issues. He's given an earnest commitment to do that, and he wants to put time frames to him. So let's just say we're picking the issue of the St. George's depot, and the issues that got down about it's using the bathroom, whether it's, you know, make sure the operators can be in a safe environment. Now, if he gives 3 months to get that done, I'm just picking a time frame. It could be 2 months. If he picks a time frame to get some of these things done, he's saying that he wants his team to make sure it happens. And that's all the workers want. The workers want to make sure that somebody's not just listening to us, but somebody's hearing what they're saying. They accuse the government for the exact same thing, you know. Well, Premier Duncan said, well, I'm listening. Well, he was listening, but guess what? He wasn't hearing what we were saying because people didn't want to hear it.
Right. Is the work to rule would you leave the work to rule in place if the minister said, okay, we can do this in a month? Would you leave the work to rule in place until it's done, or you drop it?
Well, let's just be clear, right? First of all, the workers have got these issues on the table. We want an answer from the management team about these issues. Now, if we've got 10 issues and they come back and say, well, we'll address 9 of them, but one of them we think we've got to put it inside for the time being, that goes back to division.
Right.
We're going to report back to division. I understand we've got a divisional meeting scheduled for tomorrow at 8 o'clock.
Right.
And that meeting will be to update the membership on where we are with these outstanding issues.
Is the work to rule still in effect right now?
Absolutely. And it will remain in effect until we get some answer on these issues.
Do you see any the situation escalating in any way?
No, I don't. Of course not.
Is there a message that the union has to some of the people, members of the public, who might feel like they're kind of caught in a position where their ability to get to work, their ability to get out and enjoy a safe long weekend is kind of being affected by things that don't really have a lot to do with them? What would you say to those members of the public?
Well, what I would say to those members of the public is this. I'm reminded of the situation concerning the trash trucks. The trash trucks come under the Essential Service Act of 1975. When it's convenient for management, trash, that area is essential. So if the workers decide they want to don tools for half a day or they want to do something, they're quickly reminded that essential service. my understanding, and even though the current minister has, asked for one-day collection for the last 3 or 6 months or so, there are 12 ZINs that are picked up on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. 12 ZINs. If you got 4 vehicles, let's just be fair now. You got 6 vehicles to pick up 12 ZINs. You didn't give me the equipment I need to do my work, but you're going to tell me I'm essential service. The similar thing applies to the bus. Even though the bus is not essential because the ABA government trying to make them an essential service, the bus is not an essential service yet. It's not. And until they make it an essential service, you're going to give them the tools they need to do the work. I gave the example to the media probably 3 or 4 months ago. The PLP bought 91 buses, I think from 2001 to 2009. 91 vehicles. 2009 to 2014, there were no buses bought. And the ABA government bought some buses in 2014. So you can't have a situation where you're buying 10 buses a year for almost 9 years, and then you got this window over the last 10 years where we bought 10 buses. And then you want my members to take the brunt of, first of all, this is about sharing the responsibility. So you want to put some on my members' lap, you'll take that. But we can't take it all. The government's got to take somewhere, the employer's got to take somewhere, and the public for not insisting that the government, whether it's the ABA back there and PLP now, find some money to buy some new buses, like the ABA government found money to have the America's Cup.
Bottom line.
Now, I'm not sure if Brother Carroll wants to add anything as the president, concerning, the.
Anyone can speak to the mechanics. That's you? That's who you got.
Slide the mic down.
What you want to
Can
know?
we just slide the mic down?
The mechanics, I'm aware of the many frustrations that the mechanics have with getting equipment, supplies, and some of these buses, from what I've heard, some of these buses are literally got rust problems, fluorine problems, and they're really, you guys are fighting out your battle.
Right now, we're doing the best we can. Our oldest bus in the fleet is 21 years old. 21.
And the lifespan's all over.
Lifespan is maybe 9, as they say. The fleet is run down. We need buses like yesterday.
Last we heard, there was supposed to be some allocated funds for overseas mechanics to come in. Any movement there?
As we know, MAM people coming in to refurbish the 9 series bus, to change the engine, the tram, the diff, and the radiator. We don't know when they're coming, but they're coming sometime this year. Money's been put aside to do that work.
Has not arrived yet. It's
Correct.
Okay.
I just want to say that in the paper a few months ago, we saw Mr. Dupereau talking about the $100 million infrastructure for the bridges and roads. And we have a big problem. So why we can't take that $20 million of that and order some buses, just as President Chris said. If you say 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, that's 8 years. Times that by 10, that's 80 buses. If we have those 80 buses, we would be sitting in front of you right now.
Yes, sir.
We wouldn't be sitting here. That's what we're asking. And we got our members going above and beyond the call of duty to make sure that people get to work and get home. Old people also have to think about it. We give up our Christmas, we give up our Boxing Day, we give up our New Year's Day. The 10 holidays, we give them up. We say yes to make sure the public gets there. But that's asking support us because we need it. As President Chris, if you could find money, even let's go back. President Chris could correct me. 2010 or 9, we gave up 6 months at straight time, overtime to do straight time. Then in 2012, we gave up over 18 to 2 years of
5 years.
furlough days.
18 months, right?
18 months. But we didn't get an increase to this year. The people have gave up. It's not about PLP or OBA. We just want to answer. We just want to know the vision, where we're going, so that we can get there. If you come to us with a vision, people will understand that. But if you come to nothing, They got people who work there who are 35 years old. That means they be working there for another 30 years. You think they want to work with what they got for the next 30 years? No. They want to see change. And there is not just one set of bosses out there, you know. We could be looking at different bosses out there, or we could bring in, and we can get this settled. But as asking the management, and the management has to go back to the government, do what they have to do, but we need to sit down and have a conversation. If the exam companies could do that, remember the people working at the exam companies were taking their children to school, or some of them could be catching the bus. So that means if you're gonna put up that type of money, put some money this way, and all of this will be finished. Thank you.